Hi, this is Tony Nash with Complete Intelligence. This is our weekly quick hit that we have this week. We've got George Booth, President of Secure Global Logistics in Houston, Texas. We're really interested to understand George's view on the impact of coronavirus on global logistics, supply chains, trade, and other things, and what the impact is on things like trade volumes, and the timing and magnitude of trade. But George, first, could you tell us just a real quick overview of SGL? Then let's get into some of the topics.
Yes, good morning, Tony. Good to be here. Yeah, SGL is a complete logistics company, so we do the full suite of global and domestic logistics, including import customs brokerage, exports by air and sea, and domestic by air and road. We also do 3PL logistics, so full warehousing facility, including packing and getting ready for exports.
Perfect. That's great, George. Thanks very much. And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk. I know there's a lot going on as shippers and other folks try to figure out how to get their goods to destination with the disruption of supply chains. So can you help us understand what are you seeing in terms of change in volumes for your clients over the last, say, month?
Yeah, well, interestingly, the volumes haven't dropped off yet. We were expecting it to happen almost immediately as shutdown started to happen here, but it hasn't happened yet. I think we've been slightly helped and buffered by China coming back online. So January and February, we took a real hit for our customers who are importing from China, as that just shut down and factories closed. So we saw nothing coming in, but that's now picking back up. So, for example, we have a customer who does a monthly air freight out of China. Hasn't happened for 2 months, and this week we're moving a 21-ton air freight out of China, and he's saying get it here fast. They want to get that product on the market and selling it. So we haven't seen it drop off yet. We're also seeing a big spike in air freight in this past week and even yesterday, as a lot of clients I think are preparing for shutdown. So they're trying to get their product moving and maybe converting from sea freight, ocean freight to air freight to get it moving and get it to destination before the shutdown happens. So.
Okay, so that volume has been pretty consistent. What about, as we've seen, say, the crude price, because I understand some of your clients are oil and gas firms. With the crude price declining as much as it has, what impact has that had on shipping rates? And what is the typical kind of relationship there between crude price and shipping rates?
Well, this is really interesting. I've been in the shipping industry for all of my career, so over 25 years. And this is the first time we're not seeing a direct correlation between a low oil price and low freight rates. So that's been really challenging when our clients are suffering from a low oil price, but we're having to present them with much higher rates from the carriers, in particular air freight. So air freight in the past, when oil price goes down, the freight rates go down with it, and then when they go up, you see a big spike, including fuel surcharges. But because of capacity issues, air freight has now become almost a highest bidder scenario. Some airlines are selling to the highest bidder. We're seeing freight rates, it's in some cases, of 10 times what they normally are. So something we would have paid $1.50 per kilo in the past, we're now seeing going for up to $15. So
Wow.
seen a lot of lack of flexibility from the air freight carriers as well. Where in the past you might have had a booking and the factory wasn't quite ready, or it wasn't ready to export, and you'd roll your booking to the next day. They're now charging for lost slots. So if you don't show up with your freight, they're being very punitive. Which again, from a supply chain, you can understand they're not getting the same return, so they're making it on freight. I once heard an airline say that the best payload for them is the cabin, first class cabin full, economy empty, and the belly full of freight. Now they've not got first class, so they're making all their money on the belly of freight. So,
Wow. Okay. Now, what about, are you seeing sea freights come down or stay the same, or what's happening with sea freights?
Well, sea freight's been very interesting as well, because the distribution of liner-owned equipment, shipping containers, there's a backlog in China because China hasn't been moving. So a lot of the equipment is stuck in China. So in the past few weeks, we've started to see very competitive sea freight rates coming out of China, as China tries to boost their economy, get freight moving, and also as liners are trying to get their equipment back in the right places. Conversely, trying to export from Europe or from the US, we're seeing much higher rates because there's a lack of capacity and a real demand for liner-owned equipment. So that's proven a challenge. So it depends where you're shipping from and to, based on the allocation and relocation of liner-owned equipment.
Okay, it is interesting from my perspective to see that China is actually back online. We're actually seeing uh, that the physical goods come, and you're seeing the volumes come in. I think that's really interesting. So, what is the biggest kind of concern that your clients have right now? In terms of logistics and supply chains, what are you hearing from them as their biggest concern?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our clients are tied to oil and gas, so the operators are squeezing, and as it squeezes, it comes all the way down. And I always say that the freight and logistics is at the plankton end of the food chain,
Mm,
so we get the squeeze all the way down. Some of our clients have been asked to take 40% reductions in their rates, and they're now squeezing that back down to all their suppliers. So we're at times saying, well, of course we want to work with you, but we're also presenting you with air freight that's 10 times what it used to be. So it's proven very challenging commercially for our customers and for us to keep those relationships, to continue to be a partner with people at a time when they want us to share the pain with the promise of sharing the prize when it comes back. But the oil and gas industry, as you know, has been depleted since 2015. So we've all been sharing the pain for a long time.
right.
So there's not much left in the market as far as pain distribution goes.
Okay. And George, I don't know if you can answer this question, but how long do you expect this to last? How long? It sounds like China's come out of this. What do you expect? What do you think the clients are expecting here? Are they expecting this to last a month or 2 months or 6 months or a couple weeks? Like, how long do you think this really uh, deep magnitude can impact your clients here in the US?
Yeah, I think China is a good indicator of the length of time they went into it and started to come out of it. So we're planning for around the same 90 to 120 days. I mean, based on the president's comments yesterday, it seems like there's a real bullish approach to not going into this too long. I don't know if that's in keeping with his health advisory or not, but it seems that America wants to get back to business sooner rather than later. So I think we'll see a big spike this past week and this week as people try and get product moving before a very punitive shutdown. And then we'll see the lull, and then there'll be a backlog, and people will start to try and get goods moving again. So we're making our plans 90 to 120 days. We're hopeful, obviously, that it comes back, but the oil industry has also led the charge in health and safety. So we've been talking a safety language for many years, even decades, and this is a time to prove that we care for our people and care for our supply chains and for our communities. So we're taking a very much a safety of our employees and our everybody we touch, literally and figuratively speaking. Even 4 weeks ago, we put a memo out to our staff saying, "Be ready to work from home."
Mm,
Um, this is coming, and we saw it coming because we were in daily contact with our partners in China and Italy and in Europe, so we could see what was happening there. So
yep,
we were preparing for this. We operate from the cloud, so all our people are operating from home apart from our skeleton staff in the warehouse. So.
fantastic. George, thanks very much. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. If any of the viewers have questions, leave them in comments or send us an email here at Complete. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Tony. Take care.
You too.